صباح الخير، كيف حالكم? We'll quickly review first our root and pattern, that we did yesterday. Okay. Just remember, the root, it's like the liquid, the pattern, it gives it the external shape. The root, it's the three-letter basic building block of any Arabic word. All root letters are constant. All words sharing the same root will be sharing a common meaning, so the root, it's what gives the word its core meaning. Sometimes we mention the semantic relationship between words sharing the same root may not be very obvious, such as hadara and habara. However, if you go back in time, you'll understand the semantic relationship. Okay, so hadara is to come and be influential, hadara, civilization, as we mentioned yesterday. You have an enormous number of roots in Arabic. From each root you can derive hundreds of words, whether verbs or nouns, and under the umbrella of nouns we have adverbs and adjectives as well. The origin of the meanings of the root is almost always sensory, which is the case with Semitic languages. Okay? So as we mentioned, from the root kaf, ta, ba, we can have kataba as verbs. We can have kataba, kattaba, kataba, aktaba, takataba, istaktaba. These are some of the verb forms that we can derive. Each verb form of these can be, this is conjugated with only huwa in the past. Each one can be conjugated in 34 ways with different pronouns and tenses. So you can get up to, okay, from these, okay, you can get 6 or 7 times 34, okay, that's the number of words of verbs that you can derive from this root. You can derive tens or sometimes hundreds of nouns as well. Okay, these are some among the nouns that are derived from this root: kitaba, katib, kitab, maktub, maktab, maktaba, kuttab, mukataba, kattaba. Okay, in addition to many others. Okay, and all will be sharing, okay, a common meaning which has to do with writing. The pattern, as we mentioned, it's the container in which we pour our roots, and it consists of the prefixes, suffixes, and circumfixes. So any additions to the root, extra letters, extra short vowels, etc. All words sharing a common pattern will be sharing some common characteristics. So for instance, yesterday we went over the pattern fa'il. So what will the words sharing the pattern fa'il, what will they be sharing? mentioned that words sharing the same root. Okay, let's talk about the root first. Words sharing the same root will be sharing, yeah, a common meaning, not exactly the same, but a common meaning. Okay, so something that has to do, for instance, in this case, they'll all have to do with writing. Okay, what if words are sharing a common pattern? Let's say all words sharing the pattern fa'il. What will they share in common? Yeah, all will be the doer of the action. Okay, what action? This will be determined by the root. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so if we have, for instance, the pattern fa'il, okay, all will be the doer of the action. Any word following the pattern fa'il will be the doer of the action, the writer, reader, learner, etc. So all of them will be the doer of the action, but what action in specific, this will be determined by the root. Okay? So the pattern, it's the container in which the root is put, consists of the short vowels and affixes. All words sharing a common pattern will share some common characteristics depending on that pattern. The patterns are weighed morphologically according to a morphological scale, as we mentioned yesterday. The morphological scale, we use it by replacing the three letters of the root with fa, ayn, lam. You put a fa instead of the first letter of the root, ayn instead of the second letter of the root, and lam instead of the third letter of the root. And these three words as the root themselves, okay, so this root, it has to do with action or doing, okay, so and most of the grammatical terms will be derived from this root. So for instance, fi'al, grammatically it's verb, literally it's action. So any verb, it's an action that you do. Fa'il, that's grammatically the subject and literally the doer of the action. Maf'ul bihi, which is grammatically the object and literally the done to or done with. Okay, either the person that you're doing the action to or the action that you're using, the object that you're using to do that action. Right?
How can you find out the root of a word you've never seen before?
Okay, excellent question. Okay, anyone can answer this point? Okay, Kurt?
You look at the pattern for which the root would be falling into, so you know that subjects have a certain pattern, that objects have a certain pattern, and the one that doesn't fall into there, like if you look at this pattern here, you have that alif right after the first root consonant, so you know that that's going to be the first, and then you know whatever has the kesra has the second consonant, and then the last one that takes the case ending is the last of that trilateral root, and that's like pull it out.
Okay, thanks a lot, Kirk. Okay, excellent answer. Okay, so let me analyze this a bit more. So, here. Okay. Do you remember the video of Terry Moore that you saw on the very first lecture? Okay, two things, I'll just be quoting again. So first, Arabic is a supremely logical language, okay? I'm quoting from Terry Moore. Second, crafting a word or a sentence, it's like crafting an equation. So let's say that you have a word like this one, okay? So this word, anyone can read this? Al-Katibat, okay? So Al-Katibat, we'll try to analyze this word, okay? For now, what do you know of the parts of this word? Okay, so let's talk about the first part. The definite article, so that's the first part. Okay, the alif ta, okay, this we didn't go over yet, but the alif ta, it's the regular feminine suffix, feminine plural suffix. Okay, so that's the suffix for the regular feminine plural, so it will indicate the feminine plural. And so we will be left with katib here. Okay, so here is al, okay, and then the alif ta, it's for the feminine plural. So this is our first part, third part. So what about the second part? It will be katib. Can we fit that part into any pattern that we know? فاعل, exactly. So it will be the pattern فاعل, okay? So how can we know the root now, okay? We will be removing the alif, okay, to be left with the fa, ayn, lam. So the fa, it's instead of the kaf, the ta, it's replaced by the ayn, and the ba, it's replaced by the lam. So our root will be kaf, ta, ba. Okay. So yeah. So guessing the root, okay, it will be by the analysis of the word. Okay. Sometimes the word may be harder. It may include more parts. So let me. Okay, so we'll get to more examples, okay, in lesson 5. Okay?
How many patterns are there? Is it just those three?
No, there are other patterns as well, okay, but for the 202 you will not be introduced to the other patterns, okay, those who will take the 204 will be introduced to the remaining patterns, okay.
About how many patterns are there? Is it roughly the same as with roots? Like there's
No, the patterns, no, they are much limited. The patterns that we will go over in both the 202 and the 204 are around 7 patterns, okay? And you can say that these are the main patterns in the Arabic language. Okay? Any questions before we move on? So let's review the pattern فاعل. Rami, can you read the first word, please?
50.
كاتب, ممتاز. Muhammad, next one. قارئ. Okay. دارس. Okay. Beatty. عالم. Okay. حفصة. شاكر. And Sophia, can you guess this one? واعد, that's it. So they'll always have the same morphological weight, which is فاعل, كاتب, writer, قارئ, reader, دارس, learner, عالم, literally knower. This root has to do with knowing. شاكر, thanker, واعد, promiser. This root has to do with promising. So all of them, all of the words sharing the pattern فاعل will all be the doer of the action. What action is specific? This will be determined by the root. Okay. Do you remember how we form this word? Exactly. You replace the fa with the first letter of the root, the ayn with the second letter of the root, the lam with the third letter of the root. Okay. And then you add everything else. So the alif and the kasra, you will add them. Okay. About your question, Ran, when trying to get the root out, you're making actually the reverse, okay? So you have the word and you're replacing, okay, you're putting it in a pattern and then guessing the root, okay? Okay, any questions about اسم الفاعل? Okay, so صيغة مفعول or the pattern مفعول, it's called as well اسم المفعول, literally the noun of the object or the noun of the done to or done with. I don't prefer to use the term passive participle, okay, that you may find in your textbook. I prefer to use the term اسم المفعول, the noun of the done to or done with, or the noun of the object. And for this one I use the term اسم الفاعل, as I told you yesterday, okay, which is literally the noun of the doer. Okay. So let's talk about the pattern مفعول. Shahufa, can you read the first one? مكتوب. Okay. And مفعول. ممتاز. معلوم. ممتاز. مشكور. Okay. And Manny? مجروح. Okay. You had this one yesterday too, right? Okay. So مكتوب.
I had the other one for 5.
Oh, okay. So مكتوب, it will be the written, مقروء, the read, مدروس, the studied, معلوم, the known, مشكور, the thanked, مجروح, the hurt. So it always indicates this pattern مفعول, will always indicate the object that the action was done to, okay, or done with, whether a person or a thing. So when you say maktub, this may be talking about a letter, you may be talking about a book, so about anything that is written. We're talking about makru, same thing. Okay, when you're talking about mashkur, for instance, you may be, for sure you will be talking about a person, mashkur, the person who is thanked. Okay, so in all ways this will apply to the object of the action, or the one or the thing that the action was done to or done with. Okay? And all the words following the pattern maf'ul will have the same morphological weight. Okay? It's called wazn in Arabic. Okay? And the pattern maf'al, do you remember the pattern maf'al, what it indicates? Anyone?
Place and time.
Yeah, the place or time of the action. So let's go to Layla.
Maktab, maktabat.
Oh,
Maktaba.
maktaba. Okay, maktab or maktaba. Maktab, it's the masculine singular of the pattern maf'al. Maktaba, it's the feminine singular. It's just the pattern maf'al, and then you add the ta' marbuta to make it feminine. So both are derived from the root kaf, ta, ba, and again same procedure, replace the fa with the kaf, the ayn with the ta, the lam with the ba, okay? So you replace the fa, ayn, lam with the first, second, and third letters of the root respectively. And then you add the meme, the meme with the fatha, the sukun, and the fatha on the three first letters, so it will be maktab, okay? By putting ta marbuta, you're making it feminine. Both literally mean the place of writing, whether maktab or maktaba, and maktab has been associated with the meaning office or desk, and maktab has been associated with library. Okay, next one. Okay, let's move on to Sumayra. Sorry, what's your name? Okay, Fakra, please go ahead. Sorry. Maqra'a, okay. Maqra'a, so again, how do you form this word?
You replace the fa and lam with the fa, ra, hamza.
Exactly. And then you add everything else, okay, and the ta' marbuta will indicate the feminine gender. So maqra'a, it will be the time or place of reading. It can apply to both. It can apply to the time of reading, and it can apply to the place of reading as well. Okay. Next one, Aya. Okay, which is literally the place of learning or studying, i.e. school. Again, we formed it by replacing the fa, ayn, lam with the three letters of the root and adding everything else, and then adding the ta marbuta to make it feminine. What? Ma'lam, okay, place of knowing, i.e. sight or attraction. This is the meaning that has become associated with it. And this is in the masculine singular. This root, ayn, lam, mim, it has to do with knowing. Laszlo? Mat'am, okay. The root, ta, ayn, mim, it has to do with eating. So the mat'am will be the pattern maf'al, okay. And it will indicate restaurant and literally the place of eating. Okay. Mashrab will be mashrab, okay. And again, same procedure, okay. So this is the first activity that we did yesterday. So in these cases, okay, this is an easy example of how to get out the root, okay. So in this case, okay, the word is just, okay, following the pattern without any prefixes or suffixes to the pattern. So sharib, amil, arif, qari, faliq. In all of these cases, it's just the pattern fa'al. We have nothing added to the pattern. So in these cases, it will be easy to guess the root out, okay? You just remove the alif, okay, and forget about the kasra, and you will have the three letters of the root, so it will be shin, ra, ba, ayn, mim, lam, etc. So no one of you yesterday had a problem with this activity, so we all got it correctly. Same in this one. Okay, it will be maf'ul, so manqul, maf'ul, mabsut, manshur, mashhur, all of them have the same morphological weight, which is just the pattern, nothing added before or after. So you just remove the meme with the fatha, remove the waw, and you're left with the 3 letters of the root. So in this case, the root will be, first case, nun qaf lam. Second case, fa ayn lam, which is the same case. In this case, the pattern, the word is the same as the pattern. Okay, this one it will be ba sin ta, exactly. This one, nun shin ra. Okay, shin ha ra, ممتاز. shin ra ba, ayn mim lam, ayn ra fa, exactly. Qaf ra, hamza, that's it. Fa lam qaf. Okay, let's do the opposite today. Okay, so we stopped here yesterday. So today we'll be doing the opposite. Okay, so just notice. Okay, here I'm asking you for the morphological weight, which is al-wazn. Okay, al-wazn is the morphological weight of the word. Okay, just notice that the morphological weight can be the same as the pattern. So in this case, the word عارف, for instance, the morphological weight is here it is. It's فاعل, okay? So, and the pattern as well is فاعل, okay? But sometimes the morphological weight may not just be the pattern, okay? You may need to add to the pattern, okay? So this activity, it's a bit more challenging because the morphological weight of all words, of all of these words, okay, is not just the pattern. It's more than the pattern, okay? So this is a bit more challenging. I'll need 10 volunteers other than the 10 volunteers of yesterday. So please, those who volunteered yesterday, do not volunteer again today, okay? You had the bonus of yesterday, so let's make it fair and a chance for everyone. Okay, I need 10 volunteers, 10 new volunteers, please. Yeah, so you can go for the top, one of the top ones. You're okay here. Okay, let me just mention one thing. In this case, okay, let me just do one of them quickly. Okay, so okay, let's. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this one. Okay. So how do you weigh the words morphologically? Okay. So this word, it has a root that you are familiar with, which is kaf ta ba, exactly. Okay. So the kaf ta ba, this will be our root. Okay. So it will be replaced with the fa ayn lam, and then everything else will be added as it is. Okay, so that's how you weigh any word morphologically. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, please remember that you already have the root. Okay. Okay, please remember you already have the root for all of these words. The root is kaf, ta, ba, so as to make it easier to use.
With this one,
No, you're converting it one root to another, right?
Let's look at do the upper one, okay?
I don't understand what you mean by with them.
Sorry. You will way this work morphologically by replacing the three letters of the root with the fat ayn lam, and then add anything else. All this point.
Or maybe he meant that he missed this part.
This actually is much
When I was studying for it, it was
two points.
because it was pretty
So you just draw exactly the same.
I see.
And then you keep all of this.
So we can take one about that later.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, you have 1 minute. Okay, Manny just defend Laszlo is excellent. Don't worry, he'll get it.
When I was practicing, there was the sometimes I was lettering so letter was right, but the patterns of the letters. It was wrong. No. On the same page.
Excellent. Okay, let's go over these. Okay, who did the first one? Kataba. Okay, Thakra, can you please read your answer? Fa'ala. Okay, is this one correct? Okay, yeah. Okay, please mark your bonus point. Okay, next one. Yaktubu. Who did it? Okay, Manny. Yaf'ulu. Is this correct? Okay, again. For this one, okay, kataba. Okay, all of these are sharing the same root, the kaf, ta, ba root. So we replace the kaf with the fa, the ta with the ayn, the ba with the lam, and you add the short vowels in this case. Perfect. Okay, yaktubu, yaf'ulu. Okay, again, kaf, ta, ba are replaced by the fa, ayn, lam, and then you add the ya with the fatha, sukun, dhamma, and dhamma. So it will be yaf'ulu. Okay, so please mark your bonus. Next one, who did kitab? Omar? Okay, no. You wrote it correctly, okay, by the way. Huh? Can you read it? Okay. Okay, just remember it will always be, okay, the same morphological way. So musically, they'll always be similar, okay? So, kitab, fi'al, okay? Kitab, fi'al, okay? So, just replace the kaf, ta, ba with the fa, ayn, lam, okay? And then add the kasra and the alif, okay? You will get your bonus Omar anyway. Okay. Next one, who did maktaba? Okay. Go ahead, Hafsa. It's maf'ala, that's it. Okay, so always remember, if you find that, okay, maktaba and maf'ul, okay, you will notice for sure that something is wrong, okay? Maktaba, okay, they'll always be rhyming, okay, together. So maktaba, it will be maf'ala, that's it, okay? So let's correct this one. Okay, again you'll get your full bonus because you said it correctly, okay? So maktaba, it will be maf'ala, okay? Who did in كتب. Okay, go ahead, Sophia.
I don't know if that's right. Is it gonna be mif'ala or?
Okay, where's our root? Sophia, were you here yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay, so where's our root?
It's kaf,
Kaf, ta, ba, okay, so, and it's already mentioned. So you will replace the kaf, ta, ba with fa, ayn, lam, and add everything else, so it will be.
It's gonna be fa'ala.
Okay, yeah, so the second part will be fa'ala, okay, and then you will add the first part. No, you will add the first two letters in fa'ala, okay, it will be in fa'ala, okay. You will get your bonus by the way. Okay, next one, who did katabtuma? Okay, last one. Fa'altuma, exactly. Always, okay, if you find that they're rhyming together, okay, you're on the right track. So, most probably, katabtuma, again, here we have the kaf, ta, ba, replaced with the fa, ayn, la. So, kataba, katab, will be fa'al, and then tuma, so it will be katabtuma, fa'altuma. Okay? Who did taktubna? Okay, Brandon? Exactly. Again, is it correct, this one? Taktubna, taf'ulna. Okay, yeah, okay. So again, the kaf, ta, ba are replaced by the fa, ayn, lam, and you add all the extra short vowels and letters. Okay, who did katib? Okay, go ahead, Annie. Fa'il, okay, you should have chosen a harder one, okay. And, okay, anyway, you all are getting your bonus, okay, Brandon and Laszlo as well. Katib fa'il. In this case, okay, the morphological weight, this is the only case in the 10 words that the morphological weight is the same as the pattern, okay? So as you saw, the other ones, okay, we didn't have patterns, okay, exactly as these morphological weight, but in this case the morphological weight is the same as the pattern. Katib fa'il, okay, who did kuttab? Okay, Reem, go ahead. Fu'al, exactly. Okay, kuttab, fu'al, replacing the 3 letters of the root with fa, ayn, lam, adding all the extra things. Okay, who did istaktaba? Thing? Istaf'ala, mumtaz, Ping, okay, you got your bonus, Reem, 2, and Annie. Okay, excellent job. Okay, do you have any questions about this activity?
Can you explain
Yeah, sure.
kitabuna?
This one, first one? Katabtuma. Okay, so, yeah, so how did we do it? Okay, so here is katabtuma. The kaf will be replaced by the fa, the ta will be replaced by the ayn, the ba will be replaced by the lam, okay, as usual, and we'll add all extra things. So the kaf has a fatha, so the fatha will be put on the fa, the ta has a fatha, so the fatha will be put on the ayn, the ba has a sukoon, the sukoon will be put on the lam, and then we'll add all the extra letters with their short vowels, so it will be fa'al tuma. Okay, last.
Is this just exercise for now, whatever roots in the pattern, or is it just when we change it back into whatever does it mean something?
Okay, sorry, can you repeat that?
Is it just an exercise to see what we replace what with, like the roots? Or is it just, does it mean something when we take it back to the traditional? Because that is the fa and
Okay. No, I'm not fully getting your question, so.
Is this just an exercise to identify the
Okay.
fa, ayn, and lam
Mhm.
and replace it? Or does it do something when we change it back to fa, ayn,
Okay, so in this case, okay, when you replace the root with the fa, ayn, lam, okay, you're actually just getting out the morphological weight, okay, of the word. So you're not doing anything other than that.
Okay.
I think the was, you see the was, like.
Yeah, the wazn, the word al-wazn, okay, it means this word. It means the morphological weight, okay. As-sigha, it means the pattern, okay. So let's move on to some topics for discussion, okay. Brand.
The term morphological weight is really confusing me. It's not actually something used to weigh against other things, is it? Or is it, it's just,
The morphological weight, okay, or the morphological scale, it is actually used to, okay, get what can be considered the weight of the word, i.e. if we replace the three letters of the root with fa, ayn, lam, okay, what will be the weight of that word or the morphological weight? So let's say that these words, for instance, okay, if we try to weigh these words morphologically, okay, with the morphological scale, they'll all have, okay, from the morphological point of view, what is called the same weight, okay, which is maf'ul in all of these cases, okay. So yeah, it's used actually to compare words according to their morphological weight, or to compare the words morphologically. Yeah.
I was just, I thought the morphological weight was referring to more of a, like a unit of something, not the maf'ul itself. But
The morphological weight, it's when you replace the three letters of the root, okay, with fa, ayn, lam. That's the morphological weight, okay, and then you add anything else. So that's how you get the morphological weight of any word, okay. Okay, so just remember what are the, okay, how many skills do we have in language learning in general? Okay, 5, sure, okay. Any other one, okay? What are these 5 skills of language learning?
Reading, listening, speaking.
Reading, listening, speaking,
Culture.
and writing. And there is a 5th skill, okay, of language learning. Culture. Yeah. So culture is a very important part of language learning. Actually, when learning language, you're by default learning the target culture, okay? So language learning and culture learning, they are inseparable, as I mentioned earlier. So I'd like to talk about some topics here. First of all, this feature of the language, it's called the derivation system of the Arabic language. This does not exist only in Arabic, but in Semitic languages as well. So the derivation system, it's that you have a root and you mix with a pattern to get a number of words, okay, so from one root, okay, by putting it in different patterns and by adding prefixes and suffixes and circumfixes, you will get hundreds of words from each root, okay. By the way, we'll talk about Arabic dictionaries. Arabic dictionaries, I'll get to this point in a second. When talking about Arabic dictionaries, if you got your recommended dictionary for this semester, you will notice something. Anyone check the dictionary? Okay, the Hans Bear dictionary. Okay, Brandon.
which year of the dictionary were we supposed to get? I went to.
1993, okay? Yeah, but again, just remember, okay, the correct edition is the 1993 edition, not the 2011 edition. 2011 edition, it's actually a reprinted 1969 edition. The date cannot be more misleading, okay? So it's actually the first edition, and it's even lacking some words. Okay, so the 1993 edition, that's the full edition, it's the 4th edition as well. Arabic dictionaries are not grouped according to the word, okay? First of all, there are two differences between Arabic dictionaries and English dictionaries. In English dictionaries, how do you look for any word? Yeah, alphabetically, and looking for the word itself, okay? You will not try to guess anything out of the word to look for it. And other than that, what else, what do you usually see next to any English word in the dictionary? Yeah, the transliteration, okay? So you may have, okay, why do we need this in English? Why do we need to have the transliteration next to the word?
English is nonsense.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll quote from Bernard Shaw that, okay, the English, okay, the English, okay, I do not remember the exact quote, but it's just to say that he was saying that the English people, they will not teach their children the English language, and they will not value their language because they have nothing actually to teach it with. Okay, i.e. he's talking about the alphabet. Okay, George Bernard Shaw, by the way, his one of the two that I consider, two people that I consider are the gods of linguistics. Anyone can know the other one, Kirk? Chomsky, yeah, for sure. Okay, so Bernard Shaw and Chomsky, these I consider the two gods of linguistics. Okay, I had the chance, by the way, to meet Chomsky once. Okay, yeah, it was my my luckiest day. Okay, so
When did you meet Noam Chomsky?
okay, we'll talk about that. Okay, so when talking about Arabic dictionaries, okay, the two. Okay, first of all, will we need transliteration? Okay, so first of all, in English, okay, you will have no idea how to pronounce any word in general. Okay, because every letter can be pronounced in a number of ways. So the sound, and every sound can be produced in a number of ways. So the sound k can be either a c, can be a k, can be a ck. That's for consonants. The a, okay, for instance, letter may produce up to 7 sounds. Okay, and the sound e can be written in 11 different ways. Okay, it can be written just as I, it can be written as a y, it can be written as a double e. Okay, so there are lots of ways to pronounce any word in English. In Arabic, will we need transliteration in dictionaries? Okay, yeah. So this is the first difference between Arabic dictionaries and English dictionaries. Okay, so you have an alphabet that's already serving its purpose. So you will know how the word is pronounced with just the alphabet. Okay. Second, how will we search? Okay, how will we look a word in the dictionary, in the Arabic dictionary? By the root. That's it. Okay. Why is that?
Arabic logic language, so it has root storage.
Okay, because anyone can tell me why will we look for the root and not the word? Yeah, because that's it. Okay, thanks Aisha, please mark a bonus for this one. Okay, because all words sharing the same root will be sharing a common meaning. Let's just imagine, okay, that you have the same verb. The same verb, by including prefixes to the verb, okay, you will have lots of different letters. So if you're looking at the same verb, okay, according to the first letter, which is the prefix, you will have the verb all over the dictionaries, at the beginning, at the end. So you may have it starting with the hamza for I in the present tense, as we mentioned earlier. It may be starting with a ya for hoa in the past tense. So we will be looking for the same word at the very first part of the dictionary and at the very last letter of the dictionary. So this will not be working. You'll actually need to get out the root, and then you will find all words sharing the same root grouped together under this root. Second, the number of Arabic words is huge. You can, so this is, for instance, an Arabic dictionary. Okay, it's called Lisan al-Arab. This is a 10-volume dictionary written with a very small font. Okay, so that's a classical Arabic dictionary. This was written centuries ago. Okay, today you'll find most dictionaries not that size for sure, as you already have your Hamza dictionary. Okay, but this is usually, in centuries ago, this is how dictionaries were like. Okay, so Arabic words are theoretically, they can be considered theoretically, not unlimited, but theoretically a huge amount of words. Okay, so by having words grouped in under the same root, no one who writes a dictionary ever will be able to group all words even of the same root. Okay, but he or she will be just mentioning examples under each root, because if you write all the words under the same root, okay, it will be an enormous dictionary. Okay, so whenever you look in Arabic dictionaries, you will be looking for the root. And you will not need to have transliteration next to any word. Always remember that. The derivation, go ahead, man.
Do Arabic dictionaries have listings of prefixes?
Yeah, they don't have a list of prefixes, but under the same root you will have the words, okay, and the words will be grouped according to not necessarily according to the prefix. Okay, but it will depend on the dictionary, but they will be grouped usually. So let's say they'll start with a certain verb, form 1 verb, for instance, and under form 1 verb, you may or may not find some of the conjugations, okay? We'll be talking about that in more detail, okay, when talking about verb conjugations, okay? So, the derivation system of the Arabic language, it has opened the way that you'll find many words rhyming together, and in many cases they'll also share the same case ending, okay? So by sharing the case endings or the last syllable, and by sharing the same morphological weight as well, okay? These words will be perfectly matching for poetry. So Arabic poetry, okay, it's a gift from the derivation system of the Arabic language. Anyone has an idea when was Arabic poetry at its peak? Any guesses? Okay, Kurt. Before? You're close anyway. It was before Islam, okay? So, unlike, okay, Islam and Arabic, as you know, they have the bonds between Islam and the Arabic language, they have been unbreakable since the dawn of Islam. And without Islam, Arabic wouldn't have survived that long. And without Arabic, Islam wouldn't have spread and wouldn't have been taught, and that it wouldn't have been spread like it has spread. Okay, so in brief, Arabic and Islam they have always been tied together. But however, Islam had a negative influence on Arabic poetry. So Arabic poetry before Islam, it was at a peak, and after Islam, it never returned to that peak. In some eras, it was okay. It had some lower peaks, but never at the same peak that it was before Islam. Any guesses why is that? Okay, because why did Arabs use poetry first before Islam? What were the main topics, the main objectives of poetry? Arabs before Islam, they were constantly fighting against each other, and they were using poetry, okay, as to indicate the pride of one's tribe. So one's tribe usually will be honorable, okay, with its poets. So poetry was used to indicate the honor and the pride of one's tribe and versus other tribes, okay. As well, it was used during the wars, okay, and Arabs were constantly launching wars against each other before Islam. It was used as well in other topics, but mainly it was on a tribal, okay, on a tribal background. Okay, it was used for love, it was used for other objectives as well. Most of these objectives were not favored by Islam. So when Islam came, first of all, the Quran was a complete different, okay, form of let's say writing, okay, or a form of text, okay, that was not known by the Arabs before. It was neither like poetry nor like a regular form of literature, okay. It was very influential on the Arabs. Second, the topics and the objectives of poetry, again, wars between tribes and also the competence between tribes and so on. All of these objectives were not favored by Islam because Islam supposedly, okay, came to make all people brothers. So no longer was the same need for poetry. Okay. Do you remember when we talked about change that occurred in the Arabic language? Exactly. The Arabic language, and again, since the dawn of Islam, has been associated with the Islamic heritage. So we talked about language change in general. If we're talking about language change in general and saying that this is the change that occurred in the English language, and let's say say that this was English 1,000 years ago, okay? And this is English today. So you can say, and you'll be very accurately saying that English today and English used 1,000 years ago, how can you describe these two?
If you look hard enough, you'll see things in common. But other than that, it's virtually indecipherable to the modern English speaker.
You can say basically that they are two different languages, okay? And you will be accurate in saying that, okay? So if you say that English, okay, of today and English used 1,000 years ago are two different languages, okay, you will be very accurate saying that. Arabic, on the other hand, okay, since the dawn of Islam for 1400 years ago, okay, hasn't been changing this way, but it has been changing in a cumulative way, okay? So some vocabulary are all the way getting out and some vocabulary getting in, for sure, but it has been growing. So some of the core vocabulary that have been associated with the Islamic heritage and with Islam itself have always been maintained, okay, in order, because they were always used, okay, in Islamic practice and and they have been associated with Islamic heritage. So that's why the Arabic language has been growing this way in an accumulative way. So to remember my question that I asked you earlier, if I go back 1400 years ago, okay, and I'm talking to an Arab man who lived there 1400 years ago, not me in specific, but let's say a regular native speaker, okay? So how many will the native speaker of today can understand, okay, of the Arab person who lived 1400 years ago and vice versa? Any guesses? Okay, so let's talk about how much will the native speaker of today understand of the Arab man, okay? And let's say that this is after Islam and not before Islam. If he's someone, okay, who's very familiar with classical Arabic, he will be understanding quite a lot, okay? But if he's not very familiar with classical Arabic, that will limit his understanding, okay? However, if he goes back 100 years before Islam, he may be understanding, okay, actually like maximum 10% of the speech, okay? So that's how Islam and Arabic has been ever connected. But what about the opposite, okay? How much will the person who was living 1400 years ago understand of the Arabic used today? Very little, yeah. So it will be the opposite. So I'll understand most of what he's saying if it's after the Islamic era, okay? But he'll understand very little of what I'm saying because my vocabulary has been quite expanding than his, okay? We'll stop here, okay? I'll post the homework on D2L, so please check D2L. And we'll be starting lesson 5 next time, so please prepare lesson 5. And just a second, please. For grammar, we'll be talking about az-zaman and we'll be talking about the days of the week. So the days of the week and time, okay, please review these 2 PowerPoints and lesson 5. Okay, we'll be starting these on Thursday. Friday's quiz, okay, this is important. Friday's quiz will not be on Friday, okay? We'll talk about that on Thursday. We didn't go over the whole part that we need will be covered in the quiz, so it will be delayed till next week, okay? It's Hamza written on top of the alif, it's not an alif. Omar! So regardless of what the Hamza is written on top, it will always remain a Hamza. Sorry?
I'll actually be able to get work and learn.
Sorry guys, I'll just need to move because I have a quiz.
Okay, I'll put stuff on. So that's 5 times time and days of the week, right?
Yeah.
I'll reach that on for Thursday, because I won't be here Thursday. Then on Friday, until you last week, because I'm gonna be prepared. Hey, can I, why are you here? I was here yesterday. Yesterday made sense. I actually was.
So we'll need to schedule an appointment, to go over what we covered yesterday, because we missed a lot yesterday. It's the most important
I
test.
seen yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about Thursday.
Okay. Yeah, I know that Thursday we will not be here. I was talking about yesterday. We weren't here yesterday.
And I'm reading the slides.
Okay. Is the other bracket here?
I think you left.
Okay.
Can I tell you if I get a little confused?
Sorry?
Can